C1music.fm. Let's talk about it. It's your host for the evening, Aaron Robinson. Jennifer Evans is in the building. What's going on, Jen?
Hello, hello, hello.
And I got my wonderful panelists as always. Kat, Jenny, Fritz, Eddie, and we got our special guest for the night, Amber in the building. I'm gonna give all of y'all a round of applause for joining us tonight. All right, cool. So tonight, our topic title is Dating Defined. Dating Defined. Tonight, our topic title is Dating Defined. We got T in the building. She's got to turn her camera on. Hopefully, Nate joins us as well. Dating Defined. That's our topic for today. All right, so I want to start us off with an opening question. And for you, Amber, you don't have to answer. I'm gonna let you answer last. Nate says she's trying to log in. She's having problems. All right, so I'm a preference this question to Cuzzo first. Cuzzo, I want you to answer this question first, and then we're gonna go around. I want to go you, Fritz, Eddie, Jeannie, and Kat. All right. So, Kat, prepare your answer, Kat. You can steal from them. All right. Here we go. The question is, what is the purpose of dating? What is the purpose of dating? T is in the building. What's going on, T? Cuzzo, what is the purpose of dating?
To get to know the person know the person better.
Well.
Say it again.
Said Nate is also in the building. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Here.
To get, you want to get to know the person that you're pursuing that you want to actually possibly marry.
Okay. So you saying that dating is getting to know someone that you will possibly marry?
Yeah, I mean, I would be dating to marry. Yeah.
All right, cool. Fritz, what is the purpose of dating? And then hold on, before you answer, Fritz, I'm going to say this again because I tell everybody, Nay, I did this podcast for you because the topic of this podcast came from tonight's conversation, and I know you're a fan of the show. So, Fritz, what is the purpose of dating?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. What Jennifer said. But yeah, it's a preparation for you and for the other party for a possible marriage.
So you only date to marry?
Yeah, should be.
I got two people who said if you're going to date, you have to date to marry, or you should be dating to marry. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna go to my man Eddie. Three is a charm, Eddie. What is the purpose of dating?
It should be.
Should be okay.
Should be.
A different lingo. It should be. Talk to me.
It should be. It should be aimed towards marriage. Yeah.
It should be.
That is what it
So
should
what is
be.
the purpose of dating? You gave me a suggestion. It should be. So what is your actual definition of it? What is the purpose of dating?
Well, more than dating is more getting to know someone, not necessarily for marriage, but I believe it should be for marriage, although that is not the reality of the ground.
Okay. All right, listen, I'm gonna play this clip real quick. And my man asked one purpose of dating, and he asked a question to go along with it. After that, I want Jen, Kathy, Nay, and T to answer this, and then we'll let Amber come in with her expert opinion. All right, here we go.
What is the purpose of dating? For some people, for a large percentage of the people, the scope of dating, if you're being intentional, is to find a husband or wife. Correct. So, but let me ask you this question, a follow-up question. Is that the reason why everyone dates?
All right, talk to me, Jenny. What is the purpose of dating, and is that the reason why everyone dates?
Dating would mean for me to is when two people spend time together and typically to get to know each other better and see if they might be compatible to become a couple. And also, it's a way to explore some romantic possibilities. And for some people, that would mean dating to marry, or for some people, just for casual dating. So it depends
All right.
on
So
varies
do
person.
everyone date to marry?
No, I don't think so.
Is it wrong to not date to marry?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Kat, what about you, Kat?
Some of them date just to have fun, not necessarily to get married. That's my take.
All right. So what is the purpose of dating?
To get to know someone you want to maybe settle down with.
So dating is not about getting married. It's just getting to know someone.
Or wife.
So you're saying it is to marry?
Yeah, but not in all cases.
All right. So when is it not all? When I'm gonna not pick on you right now. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna come back to you. All right. My last T and Nay. What is the purpose of dating? Talk to me. And does everybody do it for that reason?
Do I ask first, or were you asking
You
us
can
at the
go
same
first, Nay.
time?
You jumped in. Go first.
I think the purpose of dating, I guess it depends on your like what you're looking for. Some people do it for marriage. Some people do it to have fun. And especially your age and like where you're at in life. Some people just want to have a good time and not seriously dating.
Are you a
So
victim of that?
yeah, sometimes yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna pick on you right now. T, talk to me, T.
I think people,
What is the purpose of
you know,
dating?
the purpose of dating, it really depends on like who you are, honestly, because some people date for just to have a life companion, but not necessarily to marry. Some people do it to marry, and then some people just do it because they're bored.
Got you. All right, Amber, I want you to listen to this and react to it. You're gonna be the first one to react to this. All right, I want you to tell me how you feel. So far, the synopsis is for most of us saying that people date to marry. I did have two people who said that not everyone is dating to marry, even though the overall synopsis on this podcast as of right now is that people date to get married. All right, so Amber, I want you to start us off on the next one. Respond to this, okay?
Not everybody's goal in dating is marriage. You know, for every one person that's dating to try to find marriage, there's 3 or 4 people dating just to find themselves. There's 4 or 5 people dating in an experimental way. There's 6 or 7 people dating just to distract themselves from a heartbreak. So not everybody that's out here dating is dating to be married.
And
Some
what we
people
think-
are dating just for fun. They're dating from a recreational sense. We can up here on this podcast say, oh, in a perfect world, everybody would be dating for marriage. But this world ain't perfect. Most of your listeners have been led on or are misled, or time has been wasted on somebody they thought was intentionally dating, but that person was just recreational or experimental dating. So my point is, yes, if the goal is marriage and 2 people link and both of their goals are united as marriage, yes, a spiritual path for that is and spiritual advice is a good place to start. Somebody like Tony will be a great place to start, but getting to a person and finding a person and avoiding people that are not there to get you there is also a path too. And there are people that have been in this dating situation so long that they know how to recognize red flags a little bit better than people that haven't. And so those people have a voice too, and those people reach people too. So for us to act like we live in this idealistic world where everything is how it should be, and we're not dealing with a whole bunch of BS in this dating situation, I just think is out of touch for real.
And what do you say to that, Amber?
I think it's fairly obvious that not everyone is dating to get married. And I don't think anyone's naive about that. I do think that the purpose of starting a relationship or dating with someone has a goal in mind. You don't date your friend. You don't date your brother. Like nobody says, "Oh, I'm going on a date with my brother." Oh, they say I'm going to go do this with my brother. You say I'm dating this person because it's a different kind of relationship, because something is different. Obviously, it's a romantic relationship. And so, with that in mind, do you always marry the person that you're dating? No. My daughter is starting a dating relationship right now. We told her. She knows. The purpose of this is to spend time, get to know this person, if there's compatible to be married.
All right. So
Now, don't waste each other's time. If
hold
you
on,
know that,
So I have a question for you, Amber, real quick. So are you telling your daughter she should be dating to get married? Is that what
she
you
already
preach?
knows that. I don't
So
have
you
to
are
tell her
preaching
that.
that to her. Date to
Yeah.
get married.
Mhm.
So you're not telling her all the other things that this guy was saying. Date to figure yourself out, date to have fun. Date, he named a whole slew of reasons why people date.
Right.
You
No.
are instilling in her that she should be dating to get married. Am I correct?
Yeah, and hopefully you can have fun while you're doing that. I think that would be something you might want to have fun in your marriage too.
All right. I'm going to open this up. I want to ask this question real quick. All right. Because the reason why this topic came up is because I know Kathy and Nay are fans of this podcast, tonight's conversation. I know Nay actually even went to one personally in person. This podcast is a very huge podcast. I know Kathy subscribed to a lot of their content at one time. I don't know if she still does now. All right. T, have you heard of tonight's conversation? Just out of curiosity.
Have I heard of the conversation tonight?
No, the podcast called tonight's conversation.
No.
Based on their look, you never heard of them. All right, so the reason why I'm bringing this up because, this is going to lead into my next question. The reason why I'm bringing this up, and Eddie, I want you to answer this one first because I want everybody to start crucifying you in a couple of minutes. So the reason why I bring this up is because in tonight's conversation, right? The guy who owns tonight's conversation, he was on another podcast with a Christian, right? A Christian person a Christian guy who I guess they both consider themselves people who coach people into relationship coaches. So tonight's conversation, guy considers himself a relationship coach, but the guy that was on this podcast with him is also a relationship coach, but he's a Christian relationship coach. And this is his statement he said. And Eddie, I want you to I'm gonna ask you the question afterwards, and I want you to tell me I want you to lead off this debate or argument or conversational piece. All right, here we go.
We shouldn't promote what is disadvantageous. So if someone is dating for sex, if someone is dating for fun, us as people with a platform should be promoting what is going to benefit society, not what is going to confuse society. So Albert Einstein said you cannot solve a problem from the same level it was created. So having people who are dating, talking to people who are dating, someone who's dating can't help someone who's dating because the goal of dating is marriage. So a married person can tell someone who is dating, this is what you need to look out for while you're dating. This is what you need to check off.
All right, so Eddie, here's my question to you, because on one hand, we said dating was for marriage, dating to get married. All right, but then we also Amber acknowledged as well, that people date for many different reasons, although she wants her child to date for marriage. But we have admitted that people do date for other reasons outside of marriage. All right, and what the guy is pointing out, Eddie, what he's trying to point out, if you listen to the whole span of things, he's saying that tonight's conversation is a whole bunch of single people trying to coach single people how to have successful relationships that lead to marriage. He said there's no way that somebody who's single can coach somebody else who's single on how to have a successful relationship that leads to marriage. So my question to you, if you are coaching somebody that's single, is it mandatory for you to be not only married but be in a successful marriage in order for you to do this? Or
I
can
should think,
or can a single person put another single person on game and tell them like, yo, this is how you navigate through the single world? Can a single person coach another single person into a successful relationship? So I'm asking you, Eddie,
Mhm.
what's the foundation of that? Can a single person do that, or the criteria should be that if you are looking for dating advice, you should seek somebody who's not only married but in a successful marriage?
I think I would agree with that guy, because if I'm single and you're single, we're more or less on the same level, yeah? And we are not trying to get single. We are trying to get married. So I think it's better to talk to someone who is married, to advise me, to get me from my singleness to not being single.
Okay. First and foremost, did anybody agree with him or disagree with him? Somebody respond for me real quick. Does anybody agree or disagree?
I would say I agree. I would say in that case, now I'm gonna, in the case of, in this situation, yeah, I would say I prefer to receive counseling from someone who is in a successful marriage. If I was single.
Okay, so you just added another layer to it. So you're saying it's situational?
Yeah, because I think that like,
But if it's situational, then you're saying it's not overall, it's not a requirement to be married.
no,
To be in a successful marriage to lead to a successful relationship.
No. I'm saying in this subject, yes, I believe that you need to be able to be in a successful marriage. I'm saying my dad didn't know how to ride a bike, but he taught me how to ride a bike. So in that situation, he didn't need, you understand? He couldn't ride a bike, but he taught me because he knew how to balance me.
I get what you're saying.
Mhm.
So how is that? How is which your exact example relate to this?
Because I'm saying in that situation, I didn't need him to be able to ride the bike in order to show me. I feel like for me, if a person has, well, actually, if even if they have been married, and they were divorced, I guess they definitely.
We're gonna add that into the mix too in a minute. But I just want to
guess
hear what you're saying.
from
Go ahead.
that perspective, they could tell me where they went wrong or different things because they have a different perspective. And I'm going from, as a single person. Oh God.
All right, so I'm the reason why I'm bringing this up, and the reason why I thought this was an interesting conversation is because my man said that overall tonight's conversation podcast is telling lies. He's pretty much attacking them, and the reason why he's attacking them, he said he's not coming at him from the standpoint that the content is not good. He's saying that they are going up there as though they're experts on relationships, and none of the people that leave their podcast or listen to their podcast ends up in a successful relationship. He's saying that they're not solving a problem, so they should rephrase the conversation, right? Instead of saying, we are pointing y'all into successful relationships so you can come and get advice, you should say, we are single people trying to teach single people how to live a single life. He said that should be the message. Or it should be, we are people that are divorced, that is trying to teach people how to recover from being divorced. Instead, their whole spectrum of their show is particularly speaking about just being coaches on how to become successful relationships. And he's saying that nobody's leaving their podcast or listening to their podcast ends up becoming in a successful relationship. So they should change their message or they should actually bring people on who are married who can teach single people how to become successful in relationships. So I'm gonna ask Nay first because Nay is actually faithful listener. You and Kat is a faithful listener to the conversation. So Nay, can somebody who's single teach another person who's single to be in a successful relationship? A, and B, why do you listen to that podcast? Start with the first question first.
Why?
Can
What
a
was
single
the second
person,
one? Because it broke up.
why do you listen to the
Oh, can a
podcast?
single person teach another single person
How to be in a
and why do I listen
successful
to the podcast?
relationship
Okay.
that leads to marriage?
I don't think so.
Okay, if that's the case, why do you listen to the podcast?
Well, I listen to this podcast because it's a mixture.
A mixture
I feel
of what?
like you can get a mixture of married, single, and people who are in relationships. Like it's not
Okay.
just married people. It's not just one category. I feel like you can learn from everybody. Honestly, I
So
feel
do you
like
think there are
that's why
people?
I listen to.
All right, so because that's what the guy was arguing in his defense, that they don't just focus on that. But do you think anybody leaves listening to that podcast? You think they have a turn rate of successful leading people into successful relationships?
I think so. If people really want to listen and take advice, I mean, some people can listen and just still do what they want to do.
Mhm.
So I guess, like me personally, me listening to this podcast, being as though it's all different type of relationships on the podcast, I get a glimpse of everyone, every different view, like a single person, a married person, and a person that's a boyfriend and girlfriend. And I take information and I just like knowledge, make myself knowledgeable to know, okay, this is what I could be doing wrong, or I could do this differently.
All right, what the
I
guy
educate
is saying now,
myself from what
the
I'm
guy,
hearing.
the guy is saying, because you also said that you want to date to get married. Not everybody dates for that reason. But so why are you dating then? Because if you listen to this, if you're being influenced by this podcast, at the end of the day, the question is, why are you dating?
Why am I dating now? I am dating for marriage, but I also am having fun with it and seeing what I like.
So you're
in
not dating to get
dating.
married?
No, I am dating to get married, but if it doesn't work that way, I'm okay with that. Like I'm having fun with it. I'm not letting it overwhelm me. Like we go on a date, we mingle, we have a lot in common, and we want to take it to the next level. Hey, and if we don't, all right, I got a friend, or maybe we just, wasn't meant. I'm not
All right,
I'm
I
not
got you.
stressing about it.
I got you. Fritz, respond to this, okay?
Dating is principle based. It doesn't matter if it's 2023 or 1903. A relationship is based on principles, not the culture, not the trend, not the fad. Love does not change. Love stays the same because God is love and God does not change. Love is not contingent upon strip clubs and pornography and Instagram and social media. So the same way that my wife and I dated is the same way that people who will have a healthy marriage date today. But what you're trying to say is that we should date differently today because it's 2023. And that's not true, because a relationship is based on principles.
Let me say this. I want to be very clear here. Specifically, I said people are not monolithic. Right now, you're bringing in God, devil, the Bible, and those are your particular principles. And I respect that, brother. I grew up religious too. I respect what you're saying. Dating, the main purpose of dating, it should be to find a mate. People shouldn't have sex before marriage. From the biblical perspective, I understand your perspective, brother, but I'm not going to dismiss your perspective simply because it doesn't align with mine or this person's or that person. I think the particular problem isn't me saying that your take is wrong. I respect it. I enjoy listening to your content. But to say how things should work for all people and dismiss everyone else that doesn't speak your particular alignment, to me, it's irresponsible. And the reason I say that is because there are all sorts of people doing all sorts of things, loving all sorts of ways. And if you think that your way is the only way that works, brother, I commend you. I'm just saying there are people from all walks of life that need to hear other perspectives, either to solidify theirs or make them curious about another way that could work better for them.
And to that, Fritz, what do you say?
How would I say this? There's always
Say
gonna
it. Say it with
be
your chest out, bro.
people. Now, I was watching another podcast about this, that this this person is not accepting, or he would say he's respecting the other guy's opinion, even though it was exclusive, like the one is saying that I respect your opinion, I just don't like that, if we are not accepting your way, and then we're wrong. So um and I absolutely understand that, but just like what the first guy mentioned is that yes, there's going to be different experiences, different circumstances, different situations that people are getting through. But I agree when he says that but it should be centered around should be centered around God, because we are created in God's image, but we are distorted by sin. That's why we are exploring things that are outside of God, and we want things that are, you know, should please us, should interest us, or should entertain us. But we are not, we lost focus on what really God wants us to have, and what God really wants us to experience through Him in the dating scene. That's why we are trying to find things that are um, maybe alien to us or new to us, and end up finding something else. But I agree that if we just like, as if you buy a new thing or new stuff, there's going to be a manual with it. It comes with the manual, but we don't consult the manual, we don't consult the creator of that thing. We just explore and do things with our
Hey,
own desire. So yeah,
hey, Fritz, as you
that
talking,
I
some
think
of the
that's
people's faces are like, yeah,
No.
yeah. So I want to ask Fritz, because some of the people's faces are like, yeah. It's not like they don't disagree with you, but he pointed out, Fritz, he said that and you using the word manual, right? He said, hold on, let me see.
Dating is principle based.
He said dating is principle based. I want to
I think
first do you agree with do y'all agree with that? Dating is principle based?
I
How
think what
you
he's
date
trying to say
how
is
you
like
date go ahead, Amber.
falling in love is no different than it was at the beginning of time. Like
Okay.
our emotions are not different than when we were created. And so the way that you fall in love, it's the same thing. Now, the circumstances might be different. Like some people are online dating. Some people, like I met my husband early in life. Some people don't meet them till later in life. Circumstances can be different. But I think what he's saying is true. He's saying no matter what, falling in love is the same.
Okay. So T, do you consult married people about your relationship? Or do you more talk to your peers and your friends?
I more talk to my peers and my friends, but sometimes I'll talk to married people to see how like they got together because I like hearing cute love stories.
So if they got a cute love story, would you talk to somebody who is divorced?
I mean, why not?
So you open
Just
to
to
take advice from anyone?
No, I want to take advice from somebody who's divorced, but I just want to know what happened. Because
So you
you got
saying
to
you
learn
wouldn't take
from
advice from somebody that's
failures.
divorced?
No.
All right, Jenny, what about you? What do you think? Give me your 2 cents on this before I go to Kathy.
Okay, so you're asking whether I should take an advice from a single person or someone married who's now divorced.
No, I'm asking you. Well, I'm going off the point. My man said that it's based off of principles. Amber just broke that down. He said that marriage or dating or whatever the case may be, relationships is the same how it was in the beginning to how it was now. You know what I mean? And so he's saying that, stick with
So
the source.
I think that the idea of that dating is principle based suggests that successful dating and relationships are grounded in certain fundamental principles or values that are rather than being subjective or situational. And so first, I think that when both partners share similar principles, it can lead to better compatibility and stronger foundation for the relationship. So
Hold on. All right, cool. Eddie, I want you to answer this for me. Dating is more of a new century conversational piece. In Bible days and back in history, there was no such thing as dating. Dating is not in the Bible. It's not found in the Bible. There's no such thing as dating. Even if we go back from back in the day, there was no dating. So you courted somebody, but it was to get married, and it was business with the parents. Between the parents, they handled business. Outside of that, the person courted, and you really didn't have a choice if you could. You know what I mean? If the business was good, we had to make the best of the situation. And people became successful in those days, or it was successful in those days. I'm asking you, Eddie, why did it change? And did it change for the best?
No, definitely not for the best. And I think
Are you for arranged marriages?
not necessarily arranged marriages. I am for courtship.
You are for courtship.
Yes.
But courtship, back in the day, the person, that's like me saying to Nay, I got somebody you going to date. Whether you like it or not, I want you to give it a try. Because this person meets all the criteria that I think that you would need. And whether she found them cute or not, she had to at least give them a chance to court her. Correct? Am I wrong?
Correct.
All right. So how did things change? And did it change for the best?
No, it did not. As in, you just have to look at, the way relationships used to work out before and now, right? They used to, last longer, and families were, we just a quick look at the way life is right now and the way life was then in terms of marriage. You can easily tell which one is better.
Amber, your daughter's dating right now. I know you probably approve of the guy. Will he have been your first choice? And if you don't want to answer because your daughter might listen to this podcast, it's fine with me. I'm asking you, Amber. I don't know if she can hear me or not. Amber, can you hear me? She looks confused.
It's
She
like a
can't
lot
hear
of
me, so-
breakage. Like
I don't know.
My thing
She
is
said she can't hear it. Somebody type to her, disconnect and connect again. Jen. Cuzzo, can you hear me, Cuzzo? I can't hear you now, Cuz. Cuz, can
Put
you hear me?
myself on mute. I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm asking you, Cuz, if you had the opportunity to rearrange or arrange your oldest child's marriage, right? Or pick the person or select the person that he could marry, would there have been somebody ideal in mind already that you would have picked for him to marry? Or are you happy with the selection he found on his own? And I'm not saying that to say that the person is a good or bad selection that he picked. I'm just asking from the standpoint for all the things that you would want for your son to have, if you would have arranged for him to get married, would he have been in a successful relationship? You
I
thinking
mean,
hard
well,
about
I'm saying, well, I'm going to say because I want the best. I mean, I think any parent would say yes, they would be in a successful relationship because they would want to, they would pick people, a person that they thought had the best attributes, characteristics, for the marriage. So
All right, so then,
I want to answer that
do
one.
you think that he would have sought out for your? I don't know if he did or not, but do you think he would have came off better if he would have sought after your guidance in selecting?
Oh wow, that's a tough one.
I know.
Let me say this. I'm not gonna say anything.
I'm not
Yeah,
trying.
I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything because he's married, and I do love my daughter-in-law. She's so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I don't want to start no controversial, but I have to ask the questions, not to poke at anything. I have to ask the questions to ask the questions. So cancel you on this one.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
go. with
you know
Jenny.
what? Let me
Jenny,
say this. The only thing I don't like is, but it's the main thing is that my daughter-in-law wasn't a Christian. So that would be my
Red
like
flag.
big, humongous.
Red flag.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Now, Amber, I initially asked you this question because your daughter is now dating. And again, I just want to know quickly if you would have selected the guy she dates since she's ready to date. If she said, "Mom, I'm ready to date," and you said, "All right, cool, I got a gentleman that I want to introduce you to," should it have went that way, or should she have did what she did and found a person that she finds and admires? Do you think you could have picked better for her?
Yeah.
Because I wonder how many parents feel that way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Now,
and
here's my
here's
question
the
to
thing.
you.
I also
Why do you
don't.
feel that? Why do you feel like you could have picked better?
I also don't know the young man that well. So maybe once I get to know him better, I'll be like, oh, the Lord will show me, like, now I see how you guys fit together. But like, just also like this other young man I would probably pick for her, like, I know him better. So I know his family, like there's a comfort level. So that's the other caveat, right? Like, I just don't know this person. I'm having to learn this person.
Yeah, I'm asking the question too from the standpoint because not like I know Nate and probably T find this conversation a little bit boring. Maybe Kathy does too. But to a certain degree, like if you're going to ask somebody to be in a successful relationship, right? Who better than to ask your parents unless you feel like your parents is not in a successful relationship. And if like back in the day, parents used to pick who you would marry, right?
Right.
So they can
Well, and I
pick
think
they know you already. They watch you grow up. They know what you like and what you don't like. They know when you
yeah.
can annoy somebody, when you're not annoying. They know
I
if you're
think it
clean,
depends
dirty, they
on
know
the
everything.
relationship that you have with your child too, if they feel comfortable communicating with you. Because she had a crush before and we communicated about it and I said, "Sweetheart, he takes life way too seriously. You need somebody who doesn't take life so seriously. You take it seriously enough. Like, it's going to stress you out." And she took that to heart. She really did. She had a crush on another guy and I said, and he wasn't really like reciprocating her interest. And I said, "Honey, when a guy likes you, he will let you know." What happened? This guy let her know. And I said, "What did I tell you?" Like,
But did she listen to you?
it's
So she had to find out
teaching.
the hard way.
What do you mean? Oh, no, she listens to me. I mean, she listens to me, and sometimes it's after the fact she realizes it, right? Like, you were right. A guy did actually come up and ask me, tell me that he was interested in me. But we have a relationship where we can talk about that kind of stuff. And I think that's the most important thing, is having a relationship with your kids where they want your advice and that they'll listen and care.
All right, I'm gonna speak personally here, all right, because I agree with the whole panel and say that we should date to get married. I 100% agree with that. I'm also going to admit and say in my life, I didn't always date to get married. I've dated to just date, you know what I mean, and have fun or whatever the case may be. But that also because I knew in the process of dating that this person, I didn't want to be serious with this person. You know what I mean? And that comes back to even some of the other conversations that we had about what was the word we used? Finessing and this, that, and the third. Like those instead of like I knew I was wasting my time, you know what I mean? But I was just chilling, having fun. You know what I mean? And when I found somebody that I was serious with, it was important for them to get along with my parents and everything else because you know what I mean, I wanted everything to be cool. But if I was chilling with a girl and my mom just harassed me and said, "Hey, come on over," and I put the girl over, and my mom later on says, "Oh, I don't like her. I didn't really care if she liked it or not because it wasn't that serious for me." You know what I mean? I was going to stop not talking to her and not, you know what I mean? Because I wasn't in my intent in dealing with it wasn't to be in a serious relationship. So my question then is because I Nay, come on, Nay, you killing me right now, Nay, with the noise.
Sorry.
For me, I agree on both sides of the table with this, right? And I believe that your intent should be to get married. Like I think, and I have a problem. I think I also would agree with my man Tony, who is the guy on the other side, and say, "Yo, if you're dating to get married, you should listen. You should listen to people who are in successful marriages on how to date. The people that you are influenced to is going to put it like this." Nay said that tonight's conversation, there's a whole range of people on that podcast. Single, married, whatever. I'm gonna say I wouldn't want to date anybody who can categorize themselves to be a part of tonight's conversation. Me personally. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't go to, if I went to, me personally would go into tonight's conversation, I would go for entertainment purposes only. I wouldn't go to get dating advice. There's a lot of crazy conversations. People are in crazy situations, and a lot of it is stupidity. So it's entertaining. Like, wow, she did that. She got like 6, you know what I mean? She got 20 kids and some of these people are delusional and just a lot of delusion, a lot of entertainment purpose. It's like, to me, this is for me now, going to a tonight's or listening to the podcast is like listening to, what's my man, Jerry Jones or Jerry Springer back in the day. You know what I mean? The entertainment purposes. You know what I'm saying? I would look at it like that. I wouldn't look at anything that they're saying. And maybe we just grew up, maybe I grew up differently. If I really wanted to learn about relationships and love and this, that, and the third, I, back in my day, would have went to Barnes and Nobles and found a book on a topic that I was interested in and took it home, spent $20, $12, whatever it would cost, and read the book and try to put what I read into practice if I was serious about a situation. But people are not doing that no more. And to me, that's how you get it. Like, I personally think I picked my wife is amazing. I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not gonna say my wife is the best looking chick or she's like this, that, and the third. She's not perfect in all her ways, but she's perfect for me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, and I reflect, a lot of times I reflect back and be like, yo, when I was dating her, I had a couple of options. And I sit back and I always think, I'm like, thank God I didn't pick any of those other options, man. I praise God for that, man, because I was in my senses. I didn't give up on this one. You know what I'm saying? Because there was many of times I was ready to walk away from me and my wife's situation. And there were other people that I was thinking about entertaining at the time. And knowing what I know now, I'm like, yo, woo. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I dodged bullets. I dodged multiple bullets. You know what I mean? Seriously, yeah, laugh. And the funny thing about it, some of them are friends of mine now, and I speak to them today, and they still single, they still, you know what I mean? And I just sit there and listen to them, and I'm just like, man, I couldn't do this, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I dodged bullets. And I don't know if y'all feel the same way, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, a T, a Nay, a Cat, they don't search Fritz. I don't know if Fritz does or not, but they're not asking the successful married folks to put them on game. Nay would rather go to tonight's conversation and listen to people who have failed marriages or whatever the case may be and get her content and conversation than to chop it up with somebody who's in a successful marriage.
I mean, you have to also realize there's not a whole lot of successful marriages out there. Like,
that's more
for
important
people
that you got to choose safely on who you listening to then.
Yeah, you got to hunt them down for sure. Like for me, like my grandparents,
the whole
like,
I didn't hear anything you said, Aaron, because I don't know what's wrong with the service. They keep going in and out.
See,
she'll have to watch.
Oh my God.
See, the devil trying to stop you from hearing this message, man. You trying to stop you from hearing this message.
Listen, I'm all for taking advice. I don't know what you said. I just heard nay,
but see, so this is where me and you are different in this case. I'm not all for just taking advice. Yeah, this is where me and you are different. I'm not all for taking advice.
Okay.
To me, it depends on where the advice is coming from.
Yeah, exactly. Even the Bible speaks about older women teaching younger women, giving them advice. Like, you don't just be mindful, like have a mentor or have someone that you respect that, lives, well, I would say a godly life. Even if they've been through things, that's even, everybody has. But that's what the Bible tells you, to look to someone else. Well, I mean, look to God, but as a woman, if you need to speak to someone or seek advice from someone, you can talk to someone that's, I would say, godly and would have your best interests in mind. I think that's why parents can pick out.
God, I'm about to
pick out their children's partner, and and it may not be what the child like their. I'm sure my daughter, if I could pick, her husband to be, she would hate it.
Peep this though, because I get tired of women saying that there's no good men out there. I'm gonna ask this question to Eddie. Eddie, hold on, Eddie. And Fritz, I'm gonna ask you this question too. Eddie, in your church alone, is there any good men that are single in your church?
Sorry, come again?
Is there any good men that are single in your church?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Are they looking to get married?
I should. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Fritz, are there any good men that are single in your church?
Yes, we
Fritz, you there, man?
do have men, and here. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You in slow motion. You're doing cat thing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What is
we
Nay,
do
for real,
have
man? You driving right
guys.
now, Nay? What kind of podcast is this?
Yeah, I'm trying to get better.
On the road
connections. I
again?
woke up and it's not, my service is messing up.
It's okay.
Oh, she on the road again?
I'm
She's trying to get good service, good reception.
I got you. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
you guys have been breaking up the whole time, and that's never like that. So
I got you, Nay.
I'm trying to see if I need to move out of my area where I'm at.
I got you. I got you. T, so tell me, T, so you said you ask successful, a lot of people that are successful in marriage, and do you go after seeking their advice?
I don't know a lot. The number is slowly growing because, now my friends are at the age where they're getting married now.
Are they successful in their marriage, your friends, or are they just starting off?
So far, yeah.
What is so far? Let me ask this question for the married folks. How long do you have to be married for you to consider it being a successful marriage?
If it's
15
past
years.
a year, is that setting the bar low?
Yeah, a year to me, a year not enough, in my personal opinion.
Having some kids helps.
But how long do you have to be married? Eddie, talk to me, Eddie. Since you're in a position where you can have multiple wives, how long? How long?
For the record, no woman mentioned that. It was
that was me. I'm doing that to put a smile on everybody's face, but I want to know Eddie, what would consider? How long would it be to consider a successful marriage? Because I'm sending Nay your way. She's driving to you right now.
Successful marriage. I don't know. Maybe.
You heard
Somebody
me,
here.
Eddie? She's driving to you right now, Eddie. She's on her way, brother.
I do not want Eddie in his 5 rides. I'm cool.
Go ahead, though. What
I'm
you
not
saying, Eddie?
competing with 4 other women. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I wouldn't set you up to be that. I got you, Nay.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe 10 years. I don't know.
10 years?
Yeah.
Ooh, 10 years. Okay. Jenny, how long would you say you need to be married to say it's a successful marriage?
10 years.
They have this thing called the 7-year itch. So I guess if you're able to go through that and still be together, I think that would be considered successful.
So you said 7 years is the standard? Cuzzo,
Yeah.
what about you, Cuzzo?
I don't think I would define it as length alone. I know people that have been married
Good answer. Good
for a
answer.
good long time, and the marriage was not what I would not pattern mine after it. I wouldn't deem it as successful. So with that being said, I think it's a process of how they interact and communicate with one another. That's more a better definition or a better example of how successful their marriage is, rather than length of time.
Okay. Dude, everybody that's here that's been married, do y'all agree with that?
I know plenty of long, miserable married people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we trying to. That's why if you let me select who you marry, you be good, man.
T is already engaged.
I could save you, yo, from being miserable, man. Nah, if you let Eddie sweep you off your feet, I could save you from being miserable, man.
Who's
Eddie-
miserable? I'm
You know what I
fine.
mean? Yo, matter
I
of
do
fact,
my own thing.
hold on. Matter of fact, Cat,
T left.
I have to come to you, Cat, because you actually live in Kenya with Eddie.
She in a relationship. You ought to get her in trouble.
Yeah, I'm just playing around. Eddie's smiling over there, but he knows he's like, yeah, come on, yo, y'all keep calling out my name too much, man. I know Eddie feel like we calling his name out too much, man. We can't do it to Frisk because I know Frisk's girlfriend is listening to the show right now.
Gosh.
All right, I want to shout out. Let me see. I want to shout out Grace. She says after the 7-year itch, if you heard that, I could say marriage is on the road to success.
Mhm.
On the road to success. I don't know if 7 years is not enough for me. I agree with Cuzzo. I think it's more about the communication. Because one of the things that I know for a fact is after the honeymoon stage settles, right? I remember one time me and my wife was having a conversation, and she had said to me out of the blue, "Are you still happy?" And I'm like, "Yo, why you?" And it was one of those conversations. I'm like, "Yo, why you want to bother me with this, man?" Like, and I'm like, "Yo, why you asking me this?" And she was like, because we got past that stage now, and it's like kind of like, yo, we not necessarily roommates, but you know what I'm saying, we live together. So it's like, you know what I mean, like you get to that point where, you know what I mean, like y'all got to come to reality. Like, yo, y'all got to make things like what you do affects the other person and vice versa, and so on and so forth. And you know, sometimes you get stuck in a routine. So we constantly try to do stuff to date and do things to keep our marriage alive. But if you don't, sometimes you do feel like you have a roommate. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all have ever, the people who've been married longer than 5 years. But say, have you ever felt that way, Amber? At times?
No, I think because we've always had this idea of like it's not really about our happiness, it's about our sanctification. And so, yeah, I'm not always going to be happy, but we're in this to present each other blameless at the end.
Right.
Like So
And when I say happy, I don't mean like from the standpoint that's what our whole marriage is built about us being
right.
happy.
Mhm.
I don't mean it like
Well,
that.
yeah,
Like,
sometimes you get so busy that you're just, passing ships in the night, but that doesn't affect our love at all.
right. I agree. What about you, Jenny?
Yeah, I would have to agree with Amber. So it's not all, a bed of roses for the whole duration of your marriage. There's gonna be a phase where you both be like roommates, and there's gonna be that sweet phase where you're like all romantic towards each other. So, but I guess the goal of you being married is being able to have that foundation for a family, be able to succeed, growing your family together, and just have that love for each other all throughout.
I'm laughing because Nate said she was looking for a place to park so she can get internet connectivity, but you know.
It's a long drive to Kenya.
Listen,
Right.
I was in a bad connection. I pulled over I was coming back from somewhere, so I just was like, oh, let me pull over. And
Oh,
it
there
was
you
just
go.
bad the whole time. It never just in and out the whole time we've been on the stream. Never. So that's why I'm like, oh wow.
Mhm.
So good.
So
Shout
I'm
out to
driving.
T-Mobile.
Sorry.
All right, my last
T-Mobile
person.
sucks.
I know. We're gonna close out. My last person, Kat, because you've been kind of quiet, Kat. And I told you I wanted you to interject because everybody think that you quiet.
Ever since you got that man.
Yeah, but you've been quiet ever since you got a boyfriend. So,
No,
Kat, you think
that's not the case.
nah, that is the case? You've been
Okay, what's
so do
what
you
was the
see
question?
have you sought out do you know anybody that's in a successful marriage and have you sought out them in regards to the relationship that you in now?
I have, but I've not like seek any advice from anyone yet.
Well, what do you have? You said I have, but what do you have on? Well, when you say I have, what was that to?
I mean, I haven't yet. I have seen people in
You haven't
successful
sought.
marriages, but I have
Oh,
not
you haven't
sought.
seen anybody in
No,
successful
not yet.
marriage? Wow.
I have.
What
I
you
said
keep
I
saying I
have.
have, but you
I've
keep
seen
saying you
them.
haven't. So you can y'all understand what she's saying? Because I'm lost.
I
I
did
know
think
it's a
you said I
delay.
haven't, but I see you said you have.
So do you have you or have you not?
I have.
You so you have people in your life that are in successful marriages.
Yeah.
All right. So you're saying you have
Mhm.
people in your life that are in successful marriages, but you haven't reached out to them to talk to them about being in a successful marriage. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm
Why
saying.
not though? Why not yet? Why not? You're in a relationship right now.
I
You
will.
were one person that also said they need to
Once
get married.
one step at a time.
How long you been dating this guy?
5 months.
5 months. Watch this, y'all. Watch this real quick. 5 months.
Mhm.
Have you told him you love him yet?
Yeah.
Are you in love?
Ooh.
Wow. Let's give it
Ooh.
up for love, y'all.
Ah, okay. Oh damn. You got me there.
You try you yo.
You're right.
You fell in love, yo?
There's Fritz.
You fell in love? Yo, cause you know your whole hold on, your whole swag changed, yo. Your whole swag done changed, yo. You're a whole different person now. Even when you was hosting the podcast, Fritz, it's totally different now, right? Fritz got
Yeah,
that
she
pop
is.
on it.
She is.
Yeah, man, you switched up on us, Kathy. Look. I forgot her name. I wish Shania could see you
Go to-
now.
Somebody
Aaron,
asked a
go to
question.
go to get that question. It's a really good question.
Yeah, in the chat. Yeah.
Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Fritz? I wish Shania could see you now. All right.
Yeah,
My homie Grace, shout out to the Philippines. My
Margaret's
homie Grace.
changed.
It says here, I have a question for all of you. How important is it to look or seek the right people for advice concerning marital issues? Let's
Extremely.
let Fritz speak some wisdom to that. I'll let you answer that, Fritz.
How important it is to look or seek the right people or advice concerning marital issues. Well, it depends on your goal. If your goal for marriage is to not just to please yourself and not just to fulfill your desires, but to ultimately glorify God through your marriage, then definitely you would want to seek people who are pursuing the same purpose and pursuing the same goal. And if you want not really a perfect marriage or a happily ever after, but a marriage that would, like Amber said earlier, that would be a sanctifying, a life-giving marriage, then you have to seek for advice from the right people because they will guide you, not give you a black and white thing, but a guidance or principles that you can follow, maybe for you to be able to keep that pursuit alive and not turn into, okay, I'm not happy anymore, let me just go here, let me just do this, so yeah.
I also want Cuzzo to answer this question too, because I think I know Grace personally, and with this, I think y'all have somewhat of a similar background in
Oh.
regards to marriage and stuff like that. So, Cuzzo, can you speak to her about this real
It's
quick as well?
extremely important. It's definitely extremely important. I mean, even just your inner circle, who you tell your business to, what you tell about your marriage. Yeah, and I mean, it would be extremely important. I would say, I mean, to me, if I got married, I want to stay married. So, who I'm looking for is going to be honest with me, not just somebody that's going to be on my side, but that's going to speak the truth to me. Whether that means them telling me that, hey, you know what, hun, you're wrong. You probably shouldn't have done that and blah blah blah. You need to go back, apologize, whatever. Even if I don't want to hear that, but if it's the truth and it's something that's actually going to benefit me in my marriage, that's going to build my marriage and strengthen my marriage. Just not to be, I don't want that person to just be on my side, but like, yeah, girl, yeah, leave him. He was wrong. Or, he shouldn't have done that. So it is very important. Who you seek advice from.
Grace wrote, the goal is to keep the marriage together based on marital vows.
Then yeah.
I'm going to touch on this real quick. The goal to me, that is the ultimate goal, to keep the marriage together. But to me, it's really to seek counsel. I feel like it's to seek counsel who's going to push you to do not just the right thing, but to follow the instructions of the good book. You know what I mean? I think that's what's important.
Godly advice.
Because if you're being cheated on, or or whatever the case may be, or however it plays out, there are situations where you can get out of that marriage. Now, I think you should exhaust all remedies first to work it out and to seek God and make sure that you're hearing for God into what, instead of, like, I had somebody that I knew personally recently, not too long ago, who was in a situation, and I kept saying that their husband is having them live in sin, and they were willfully willing to live in sin because of the situation that they were in, circumstances. And I'm saying that no matter which your circumstances, doing the right thing is always better than trying to have a quick fix to your situation. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's always good to just do the right thing.
Mhm.
And you want somebody that's going to push you towards doing the right thing at all times, whether it be your spouse or whether it be your friends and family. Like I'm not sharing nobody who's not going to be rooting for me and my wife information. You know what I mean? I want somebody who has my best interest and my wife's best interest at heart. Matter of fact, I had another friend who came to me one day and was telling me about the situation with his wife and they was going through. And as he was sitting there listening to me, I said to him, brother, I am not the one to talk to. Because if you listen to me, you might end up getting a divorce. And I know that. And I said, I'm not speaking to you as Aaron, the Christian, and this, that, and the third. I'm speaking to you because your wife did you dirty. And I ain't for that. So I don't want to give you advice, bro. You told me your story, and I'm speechless, and I don't want to give you advice.
Mm.
And I said that because I didn't want to say the wrong thing, or I don't want him to say Aaron said that. Because I'm not pushing you to get. In every situation, there's a way of healing and reconciliation. You know what I'm saying? But my man, his wife was doing some funny money, messing with the money and hiding money and stuff like that. That had him like spending all his money, but stashing her money and everything. So it was kind of crazy. So I didn't want to give advice. I would never want to push somebody towards divorce. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And believe it or not, now that person is happy. Him and his wife is happily married. And so I'm glad I didn't get that divorce because I could have convinced him to, like, bruh. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be that guy. So to the T's of the world who is engaged, to the nays in the world who is in a situationship. Don't lie to yourself. And Kathy, who is in love.
Dating in love.
Dating in love. Shout out to Kathy. Love is a good thing, Kat.
Look at her face.
I know. She's trying to play it off. Kat, you a totally different person. I gotta let you listen to your podcast that you was hosting. Some of the nonsense you were saying on your own podcast. You have to replay some of that because you are quiet. You know what I'm saying? Used to be, I don't know. Am I lying, Jenny?
Totally true.
Totally true, man. You a whole different person. That's what love make you do some weird things, huh? Fritz, my guy, appreciate you for joining tonight. You know what I mean? Eddie,
Always a
Kat,
pleasure. Always a
Nene,
pleasure.
driving around the world. Yo, you gonna meet that guy in the park.
Chasing that signal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna meet that guy in the park. Oh, that would be so sweet.
You gonna meet him in the park, man. He there for you. Walking his dog right now.
Oh, I hope it's a cute dog and small.
Mm-hmm. And got fleas.
Ew.
All right, yo, we signing out, man. I'm about to get ready to watch this game. So you have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
For Fritz and Eddie, I see y'all on Wednesday.
All right.
Holla at your boy. We out of here. Let's
All
talk
right.
about it. Dating defined.